And now I have to try to do better than that. That's impossible. And Stu and everybody, all the former crew members, you are just everything to us, and I know that you're everything to Bruce and Ken. So, if anyone doesn't know me, I'm Susan Marinov-Zausner. I'm president here at the Intrepid, and it is such a privilege to be able to say, on behalf of Ken and Bruce, on behalf of all of our board of trustees, happy 79th birthday to your Intrepid. And for any museum visitors that are around us right now, it's a very special day for you too, because you will have the opportunity to meet and greet some of our former crew members around the museum after the ceremony. So just a little bit more formal in remarks, on August 16th, 1943, this incredible engineering marvel that we call Intrepid was commissioned. And so, as I said before, 79 years to the day, we are so honored to have you amongst us, our former crew members, and we expect that next year we're going to see you and more of you as well. I want to introduce two very special people who are in the front row. Arthur Grabiner, World War II veteran. Frank Fumo, World War II veteran, served in Pearl Harbor. It is a privilege to have you both on board. And I was saying to Frank earlier, who is a Navy photographer, a ship's photographer, that you have to go visit an incredible exhibit that we have here. So we also know that the past several years has been tough for so many. The pandemic hasn't been easy, and our former crew member community has been hit especially hard. Last year, we lost an incredible friend in Joe Litschauer, who served in the U.S. Navy aboard Intrepid from 1959 to 1962. And then he served as a volunteer on the ship for many years after, as well as, of course, in the Former Crew Members Association. We also lost a former crew member and a plank owner who served on the very first day that we were commissioned, John M. Henry Sr., and we lost him just this past weekend. And finally, we also lost, I know amongst others, Rear Admiral Robert Rosen, a former Intrepid Museum trustee. He passed away late July. And so I would like for just a moment, if you will join me in a moment of silence to honor these former crew members and these others who we have lost. Thank you. So, a commissioning ceremony. It marks the day a vessel officially joins the Navy fleet and its crew is then welcomed aboard. Intrepid was in service for 31 years, as I mentioned, starting in 1943 on this very day until 1974. Served in World War II, served in Vietnam, the space race, and the Cold War. And we celebrate this commissioning every year to honor you, the men who served on our ship. So to our crew, your stories of ingenuity, of perseverance, and of bravery are the foundation of everything that we do. And we thank you for trusting us to preserve your stories for the future generations, the generations we serve today, of course, as well. We've recorded hundreds of your oral histories to capture your firsthand accounts of what life was like on board this ship. We work with you and your families who wish to donate artifacts to the museum's collection so that these representations of your service can be preserved for years to come. And many of you, most of you, volunteer at the museum to connect with our visitors and meet with people so generously to share your history and your stories. These stories and memories of your service and your ship are so important to us, and they're vital to our effort to impact lives. They're invaluable teaching tools. They're a springboard for us to educate and inspire our future generations. You've heard so many times, we bring in 55,000 school children a year. Most of them are underserved, and we teach them education at the intersection of history and innovation. That is your history, that is your innovation. We adapt our programming, as you know, for individuals with autism and cognitive disabilities, those who are deaf and hard of hearing, visually impaired and blind, those who have dementia in their families. And we make the museum accessible to all. And we work on offering numerous opportunities to experience the museum free of charge. I know you take pride in the fact that you can impact everyone. So for you, our former crew members, and for all our veterans and for all active military personnel, we also never lose sight of what your needs are. We have specific targeted programs providing supportive museum experience for returning service members and for veterans from all conflicts, particularly those who suffer post-traumatic stress, and our aim is to build community and ease your transition back home. We conduct similar programs for the families of veterans and service members, and this museum is and always will be accessible to all veterans regardless of distance, finances, or abilities. You have our promise. So we know this is a very special milestone year for the museum. The museum, as Stu mentioned, is 40 years old. It was the 40th anniversary this year. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated the day, 79th anniversary of the commissioning of the ship. And as we take a look back at our journey, we also know how excited we are for the future. Our efforts to open more and more of the ship are progressing, particularly sick bay. And we're completing, as I was told, 99.9% there, the 3D scanning project of the entire ship. And we know that this is going to make the inaccessible accessible, and we haven't even begun to contemplate all that we can do with this. Our work will continue to make this ship inclusive in every way imaginable. And we always say the ship may be stationary, but Intrepid Museum is always moving forward. It's your stories of service, your stories of bravery, and your stories of ingenuity, which have served as the backbone for this amazing institution for 4 decades. And while we are continuing to evolve, we will always tell your stories to perpetuate your legacies for those generations to come. So, as I mentioned, next year is another important year that we are going to observe. It's going to be the 80th anniversary of the commissioning of Intrepid. I know that we'll see you there. I know that we'll see many more former crew members there where we can show our appreciation. So again, a thank you for being here today. A thank you, I echo Bruce and Ken's remarks, for all you have done to salvage this ship so that we can perpetuate your legacies you've built. Thank you for being here today. Happy birthday.